YouTube, this is Dice Roller Rodriguez bringing you a battle report from a campaign we're doing at a local shop. It's my Warriors of the Dark Gods at 2,500 points versus someone's Sylvan Elves at 2,500 points. So first of all, this is with the campaign board we set up. You can't really see it real well from this picture. I'll try and get a better one later, but yeah, so there's that. So this is my deployment, and my list starting from the bottom is 5 Barbarian and Horsemen. I just used them for some range and chaff. Above in that brown field, I have 5 Warhounds. Behind them is 3 Skirmishing Once Chosen of Lust. Behind him, and the little blue guy that's above that field, is the Archeon model. It's the fine cast one, so he's bendy. But he's my Lord of Chaos. He's got a 1-up, 4-up on a demonic steed, causes fear. He does work. The block above that is 25 Wasteland Warriors with Mark of Pestilence and the Banner of Filth, so that gives them poison attacks with paired weapons. My BSB is in there, Mark True Chaos. My Sorcerer Lord Roland, level 4 of Alchemy, is also in there. Above them is a once chosen block of 8 marked Change with the Wizard Conclave, which gives them blue and pink fire. And then above that is 3 Crusher Knights, full command, and no special banner or anything. So this is my opponent's deployment. He put everything down first. I mean, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go first. I was expecting a little more shooting with the Sylvan Elves, but I'm okay with close combat Sylvan Elves. I like killing elves. You know, elf blood makes the grass grow. But yeah, we'll get to see what he has further on. So these are just vanguards. Nothing really special there. My Warhounds came out to see if they could draw a charge, and the other guys are just moving up the side to see what they can draw out in them. So for Sylvan Elves turn 1, his only charge he declared was on my Warhounds. I fled, they went 10 inches, popped out the back of my my skirmishers and my lord. They're insignificant, they just keep trucking on. No panic checks to be had. Now for his magic phase, he gets 10 on the power dice, and he channels, so he gets 11. I get 6. I did not channel this time, which I could have used. So for his first spell, he does Dwellers in Earth, which makes a target unit take strength tests. And he targeted my Once Chosen of Change. And he rolls 2 6s, 3 5s, and then for his added power, he rolls another 5. So, yeah. I thought about using my Dispel Scroll, but I was like, it's early in the game. What the hell? Let's let it happen. So, Dwellers goes off. I roll for my champ, which is the 6 there at the bottom. Looks like one of the dice got cut off, but I rolled nothing above a 3 after the 6. I got to fail 1, and then the rest I had to roll under 4, so mission accomplished. He was not happy. He was looking forward to that unit going splat. So that was the end of his turn, and on to Warriors of the Dark Gods turn 1. I declared charges with my Wasteland Warriors into his Treecan. Lord Malice also declared a charge into his Treecan. My Crusher Knights on the left side declared them on the Heath Riders. The big block of Wasteland Warriors failed. The Crushers failed. The Lord Malice made it. He needed like a 10, I believe, and he rolled an 11. So, and he ended up right there. And his positioning is kind of a big deal when it comes to his next turn. So I go to rally my Warhounds, and they don't. They just fail and run off the board. So here they are in the box. Shameful, shameful dogs. So I moved my Barbarian Horseman up on the right towards the Impassable. I moved my Once Chosen of Lust up. Um, hopefully, I don't think he's gonna charge a tree man because they're not a huge threat. I don't know, he might, but I'm thinking he's gonna attack me with those 5 Heath Riders. So I'm hoping whoever he charges, they'll stick for at least a round, and I'll get a flank charge on him, so I can just beat him through combat res if I just can't outright kill him. And then on the left side, my Once Chosen block moves up, just get in range for some spells, and Magi Carl moves up in the field to get in range for some spells. So I got 9 power dice. I channeled on 4 with 3 wizards. Pretty sure that's right. And then first thing I did was Wicked Lash off of Carl into his Treekin. He let it go. It hit 3 Treekin and did nothing at all. Actually, it was quite disappointing. Next, I tried Silver Spike onto his his Treeman Lord or whatever it's called. Yeah, he stopped that one, so that didn't do much. After that, I cast Blue Fire off of my Once Chosen wizard or champion. It went off. It got like strength 2 at frickin' 4 wounds, or 4 hits rather, and did nothing. So here's a combat between Lord Malice and the Treekin. I issue a challenge because I have to. He accepts with his champ. I blow the guy out of the water, and then to add insult to injury, I go ahead and do 1 more wound onto his already 3 wounds with my Demonic Steed, and he fails combat, but of course he sticks. So we're like that. So Sylvan Elves turn 2. He issues charge into my Barbarian Horseman. I stand and shoot because they have thrown weapons. They of course do nothing. To him, he gets in. I mean, I don't even think he needed a roll to make it in. So we go like that. So we go into magic phase, and I want to say he rolls like 3 on the power dice. I didn't get a picture, but he has room for 1 spell. I have 2 dice. He has 3. He throws, I forget what he throws up, but it does 2 wounds onto my skirmishing Once Chosen. I mean, it didn't kill 1, so I'm okay with that. So the magic phase ends, and then we go to combat. And in combat, Lord Malice challenges. He accepts with his BSB, and Lord Malice turns his BSB into wood shavings. He wins combat again. He fails his leadership test. No more BSB. He flees, and he goes like 10 or 11. I was really hoping he was going to stop a little shorter, so I would be in a charge arc into his general, who's right there on the left side of the picture. But you know what? I'll take the Treekin, with just my Lord. So far, this Lord is he's putting in work, so I'm okay with that. Lord Malice ain't too bad. Over to this combat, it just basically turns into a pillow fight for this round. Nothing really happens. I lose combat. I think I roll a 6 or 5, but the general's within range, so it's all good there. So it's my turn 2, and yeah, I charge into his Heath Riders because, yeah, it was basically a walk-in at that point, and I'm feeling pretty good about this combat here. Next, I charge my Once Chosen change into his Tree Man. Not really sure how this combat's going to go, but I'm hoping for the best, and there's only one way to find out. It wasn't a very long charge, but they still made it. and then after that I tried to charge my Wasteland Warriors at the same time, and they rolled a 3 to charge, so they didn't make it. My Crusher Knights go for a charge on the Heath Riders. They flee. I redirect into his Dryads, and they needed like a 10 or 11. They rolled like a 4 and a 1, and I forget what the other one was, but it wasn't high. They just kind of went forward a little bit, and looking at that lake over there, wonder if they can go fishing or some crap, I guess. So on to the tragic phase. Yeah, that's it right there, Power Dice. Well, not the third one, but yeah. So I got 12, and it was I don't think I got anything off of that was important. I think it got stopped, and the ones that he didn't stop, I failed. So it was a giant disappointment. So we go into combat, and yeah, he puts 2 wounds onto one of my guys. I put a wound onto him. He really has had some bad rolls, but he's had some good rolls. It's hot and cold with him. As you can see, I moved my general up there to face his general to put some pressure on him. In hindsight, I should have just turned and faced and moved back a little bit, but it is what it is. So this combat goes as well as I had expected it to. I killed 4. He killed 1 of my Marauder horsemen. I'm really worried. Now he flees to the left away from the Marauders. And off the side of the picture, about 10 inches away from them, is his Treeman Lord. He rolls for running away, or his flee, and he gets like 5 inches. I hold with the Marauder Horsemen because they're just going to get plastered if they hit that Treeman, and then I send in the ones chosen. They roll an 11, and they get into the side of that Treeman. And I don't know how that's going to go, but I'm okay with it. So we're on to turn 3 for the Sylvan Elves, and he does this to my Crushers. Yeah, not exactly what I wanted, but I've had some luck with my Crushers. I'm pretty confident they can stick as long as nothing serious happens in the magic phase. So here he's charging his spearmen into the ones chosen, and I'm not too worried about it. I figure if they get in there, I'll focus wounds on them because I'll be able to do quite a few wounds on them and then scare them off until I can focus back on the Treeman, and hopefully the Treeman doesn't do too much back. But, I mean, it's hard to say. The rolls have been going crazy. Ends up, I take a few off the back of his frickin' spearman. I think I put another wound onto the Treeman. He takes one of my guys and transfers a wound. I win combat, and his Treeman's stubborn, so he sticks. But his spearmen, I don't remember what they rolled. It was pretty high though, and they failed, and they ran right there, and that's right in the path of my general. And I'm gonna do my best to chase those guys down and make sure I get points for them. So if you look to the right, there's 2 bases, and that's from my once chosen of Lust. When they overran into his Treeman Lord, they did like 2 wounds to him, and they won combat, and he failed his leadership check, so he ran. They of course chased, and that's where they ended up. Definitely, I'm alright with that. He's been making some crazy leadership rolls, so we do this combat and nothing really happens. We basically tie combat and nothing happens at all. We just kind of sit there and look at each other and get the gleam off the water. And now we move to my turn, and I charge my lord towards the spearmen. They flee. I charge my chosen down here into this flank. My lord catches the spearmen, and they just go poof. And that puts them in a perfect spot for a rear charge on the dryads, as long as my crushers can hold on. I'm not really too worried about if his general attacks, because he's been really skeptical of bringing him anywhere near combat. So at this point, I'm kind of confident that if I get into combat with his general's just going to get slammed. I don't really do a whole lot for magic this time, I don't think. I think I get the Quicksilver Cloak, which is they get distracting, and then +1 to armor on my once chosen. We do combat again. I win. He takes out to the side, or he takes out that guy to the side for the lust, but he fails his leadership roll and he flees, and he goes like 11 on this guy, and I go like 6 and 5 or 5 and 4, and it's just disappointing. Even with the rerolls, I didn't make it on my lust guys, so he gets away to live another turn. So we do this combat. He takes off 3 wounds. They didn't have any, and then I kill a bunch of dryads. I'm ignoring the eagles, but I win combat. His dryads steadfast. They pass for leadership. The eagles, however, are not. They go flying. I was really hoping they were going to go off the board, but they're just a little too far. They don't even take any dangerous terrain from landing in the pond. So there's still that. So we go into his turn. He doesn't do anything. He does some rallies. Magic. I think he gets the throne off, heals a wound on his guy again, and then we do this again. He puts some wounds through. I put some wounds through. We actually tied combat, and we just stick again. Ugh. So this is my turn 4. Yeah, I get my lord in there. They do a bunch of wounds, but despite all that, and he kills off my other crusher, he still sticks. So I'm stuck like this for another turn, and that's how it's going to go. I, of course, charge these guys back in. He took a good chunk of them off, and yeah, I failed this one, and I stick. So I'm there for another turn, and hopefully this goes as well as I hope it's going to be, because we just keep trading wounds between these 2 units, and I'm losing men, and he keeps getting wounds back, which is not good for me. And don't you know it, the next turn, he finally goes. I finally get enough wounds through on him, and he dies. I do some movement. I don't think there was any significant magic. I think I just did Quicksilver Cloak again. That or Enchanted Blades, but it was just mainly for the toughness. Or the armor save, rather. And the other combat, I just wipe out the frickin' dryads, of course. And then we go to his turn, and he rallies the eagles. Once I destroy that dryad unit, I faced my lord up towards this direction. Now, I didn't get a picture of what happened. He moved the Heath Riders right in front of this forest, and I charged him with my lord. My lord went in. I resolved that combat first. I basically wiped him out. There was nothing left. I overran right into his general. So I get another round of combat, and I'm really hoping I can kill him. But you know what? It ends up right here at the top of, or at the end of the game on the 6th turn. He has his eagles and his general left, and he has 1 wound left on his general, and I cannot seem to get that wound off. And it's a little frustrating, but I think it was a good game and victory. Definitely a victory. I hope you enjoyed this. I had fun making it. Definitely have fun playing. I always have fun playing. Like, subscribe, comment. If I did something wrong, please tell me. Let me know. I'm still trying to get all the rules down. I've only been playing this for about 3 weeks, and I've only gotten about 4 games in. So I'm still on a learning curve. It's a lot of fun. Ninth Age is definitely scratching that 8th edition itch. I like seeing everybody on YouTube, making these battle reports. I figured I'd do it. So please, if you like these, keep supporting it. So I'll keep doing it. This campaign's going to go on for a while, so there's going to be some more. I'm going to try and get some of the games that I'm not in and do battle reports on those. So I don't think I'm going to do a narrative or anything to it, but you get to follow along with what's going on if you want to do that. If not, that's fine. So I appreciate you watching, and until next time, keep rolling those dice.